Hello and welcome to another video. Today we have an MSI board on our bench, an X470 Gaming Plus Max. And if you can maybe see, there are some stickers with the caption of damage. This is because I took out this board out of the box when I got it, and I had a quick look around and there was very obvious signs of physical damage. I don't know what the description of the previous owner was before, why this got to me, but I saw the physical damage, and yeah, we're going to first have a look at that and try to figure that out, and then go from there to see what the board does, how it behaves. So for that, let's go under the microscope. So right here we can see the first part of physical damage actually, which is a 6-pin device, probably a resistor there and another resistor at the bottom left that is missing. No idea what this area is for, to be honest. It does have a crystal near it, but yeah, definitely physical damage. And if we continue on in this area to look around, we can find damage right here. And that has damaged a trace, as you can see right there. Then we see more physical damage around that M.2 slot. Those are capacitors for the PCIe, so this M.2 slot won't work like that. And then there's more physical damage up here, where we can see a SOT23 package that is missing. And the big question will be, will there be any more damage under this heatsink and at other points of the board? So let's have a look at the SIO, if there's anything to be seen there. So going around the SIO, but this area looks clean. This does not look like it got a hit. There's a little bit of dirt, like right there, but nothing special. Looking at the area around the audio chip and checking corners of the edge of the board, you can see there's definitely scratches right here, but I think all of the components survived, which is good. Then the Ethernet, and the Ethernet has also some damage. Wow, this board has so many places where it's damaged. 2 more capacitors that need to be there. Let's continue on right here to have a good look. All of this looks fine. This is a USB controller as far as I know, an S-Media chip. Then let's go further. A fan controller right here, but seems fine. Let's go further. We go to the BIOS right here. And the BIOS chip looks untouched and no damage here, which is great. Then we have some auxiliary voltages that are being created for AM4. This is probably where 1.8 volts and the 0.9 volts are being created. And this area looks fine. This is good, around the screw hole also. Then near to the DDR slots, looks fine. Then we continue on to the CPU socket. And everything here looks fine so far. No obvious damage, that is good. And around this crystal, nothing. And here above the CPU socket now, also looking fine. Let's see for the PWM controller. There's often damage here also, but in this case it looks to be fine. Let's see. Another screw head at the top right. And even further to the top right, and the edge of the board, everything looking fine. And this is around VDDQ, right here with the controller and the dedicated MOSFETs, but all of this seems to be fine so far. So let's have a continuous look. Everything looks fine. And then to the PCH heatsink again. Let's see, this is probably VDDP, and that looks also fine. Kind of looks like there was some liquid at one point and someone tried to get that off. Okay, so let's take that heatsink off, because we want to have a good look under the heatsink, and we will also have to have a good look at the back of the board. Not that there's a lot more damage here. So heatsink screws are removed. Let's remove the heatsink itself. let's have first a good look around the backside of the board with the microscope once more, just to be sure. Let's see right here, backside of the CPU socket. Everything looking fine. Let's go to the VRM area. If all of these are fine. Yep, all look good. Okay, there isn't much here anymore. Let's see, is there anything else? There's PCIe switches right here. Where is it? Right there. But these look also fine. Yep, nothing damaged here. Let's see, there's a few marks here around the screw hole, but nothing damaged. Some thermal paste, but all looking fine. TPM header or SPI header, also looking fine. And so far I cannot find anything else. And let's see behind the PCH where most of the damage was, and I can see at least one capacitor that got a little bit of a hit right there. But it is fine. And yeah. Don't think there's anything else. So let's have a good look at the front where the PCH actually is. And I can see someone has tried to replace this thermal pad. Interesting. Because this is not a standard thermal pad that is on here. This is an aftermarket one. Let's put that to the side. Cannot believe people. Probably someone damaged. Probably someone damaged this board while trying to change out that thermal pad. Probably slipped and did all of the damage that we can see. But the rest of it here looks fine. You know what might have happened? They might have wanted to pry off the heatsink off of the PCH and then damage this area. Like that they somewhere here went under the heatsink with the screwdriver and then damaged this. But that does not explain how the damage at the M.2 happened. Because if you have a look right here, this is the damage that we saw before. How did this happen if the main damage has occurred there, here, and there? Really interesting. They must have tried at multiple places to get the heatsink off of here to replace the thermal pad. The big question is, did they have an original issue and then they damage the board? So if we replace all of those components, if there will be still something wrong with this, or is that all? And they just wanted to do some maintenance. That's the big question. So we have 4 areas that we need to work on. We have these capacitors, we have the 2 areas above that we've seen, and we have the Ethernet where 2 capacitors are knocked off. So, we will need a board view for this in order to find out what we need. And for MSI, it's mostly easy to find. We need this number right here, MS7B79 version 3.1, and you can type this into Google in order to find board views if they are available anywhere. And I got to be honest, one of the only places where to get these is Badcaps if you want them for free. And otherwise, we will have to pay for them in different forums with different subscriptions. And people always ask me how I get the board views, and I just buy them. That is the same way as everyone else needs to. And yeah. So let's search for this exact board view. So now in our board view software. So let's see. These 2 capacitors are just 0.1 16 volts, 0.1 microfarads. These are just standard PCIe capacitors. They are nothing special. That go to these PCIe switches. Then let's see. We are missing a SOT23 device. This one probably, or this one. One of these 2 we are missing. And this is just in the standard N-channel MOSFET that is basically everywhere. That needs to sit here. Okay, then there's also a trace missing somewhere here, but that doesn't matter too much. There's no component. We will revive that trace. And then we're missing this thing here. This is a double N-channel MOSFET. This is the same as this one, just 2 in one package. Then we are missing this resistor, a 2.2 k ohm resistor. Oh, and this takes RTC CLK. So this is for the RTC area. So the board definitely wouldn't have booted without this. And what else is there? Another 2.2 k ohm resistor. Okay, and the other ones are not fitted. And then we also have damage to these two capacitors, which are the exact same capacitors like the other ones. 1 microfarad, 16 volts. Okay, so we need 4 of these to replace. Then we will need 1 transistor right here, and we need a dual N-channel MOSFET here and 2.2 k ohm resistors. And we will have to get that trace restored. So because this will be mostly just soldering, we will go into a time lapse in order to speed this up, and we're gonna cue some music to do this. So, and we are back. That took me about half an hour, a little bit less than half an hour with sourcing parts and everything. And now the big question is that all the damage that we had on this board, or is there a more underlying issue, which is why this board was even attempted to be maintained? So we will try to figure this out, because we don't know the condition of the board. We will start with our checks of resistances. So we are going to do the usual 24-pin checks. Bottom left, 3 VSB at 3.3 volts. High resistance, 5 VSB. Fourth from the top left, high resistance or kilo ohm. Then 12 volts and 5 volts. High resistance all. Okay, let's check the 24-pin adapter, the 12-pin adapter for the CPU. High resistance, and then into the CPU phase, also high resistance. Okay, so we have no major line short, so we will be able to build this up, get the power supply into here, and then we will also take a processor. In this case, let's take a 2200G, because I love that processor for debugging. So processors in, let's get a button also into here. And now comes the big point of seeing for the passive power consumption. So, oh, you couldn't see the resistances. The multimeter wasn't on screen. Well, we had high resistance. Let me get the multimeter and also the current meter device onto the screen so we have them. So there we are. Let's see for the passive power consumption. 100 milliamps, that could be fine. I would expect maybe a little bit more, but that could be fine. Let's put a stick of RAM into A2. Get a fan onto here. So do we have post LEDs? We do have post LEDs at the top right. Let's see if I can get my TPM card into here in order for us to see postcodes. So let's see if we can get postcodes out of this with that card. Let's get the light order off here so we can see that better. So let's hit the power button. Reaction to the power button. We do get postcodes, 2.3 amps. That looks good. CPU LED is out. It's still postcodes going. CPU again. Probably going to RAM now. And let's see. Let's put the VGA onto here. Is the post screen enabled? Our post screen should be enabled if this boots. 4 amps, 5 amps, and we got a picture. Very well. That is good to see. Now, a picture is already good. That is the first step. But because we had so much physical damage, there's a lot more for us to check. Like, we will have to check that the Ethernet is working and that both M.2 slots are working, just to be sure. And also for the PCIe, if we're already at that point to do that. So what I will be doing, I will be installing an M.2. I will be installing a GPU and a different processor into here. So we're going to go for the 3100, that we can use an external GPU with that. So now I have 4 sticks of RAM into here, so we can test all of the slots. I have an M.2 and a GPU into here. And now we will just fast forward until we get into Windows, and I will be also checking the Ethernet then and some USB ports so that all of that connectivity also works. So let's just forward this. And with that, we are in Windows. All sticks of RAM are recognized. We got Ethernet, we got audio, and the M.2 is working. So I'm very happy and fine with that. And for the last thing, I will also test the upper M.2 slot, but I don't expect there to be an issue with that. And we will have to flash the BIOS. But that will also be fast forwarded. And this also has a really old BIOS version from 2020. So good that we are flashing the BIOS here. So, and with that, our repair comes to an end. The board has successfully updated the BIOS. The board is now fully working. All we had was physical damage on this board. And that was caused by probably someone prying up on there because they wanted to replace the thermal pad there. And yeah, I will be cleaning all of this off, will be throwing this one away. I will be putting a little bit of thermal paste onto there. These don't generate a lot of heat, like that will be fine. As long as the heatsink is somewhat on there and we have a little bit of thermal paste on there, this chipset will be totally fine. And yeah, all of it is working now. The M.2 is working, the Ethernet is working, all of the USB. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something out of it. If you want to get one of these current meter devices, one of these, email me in my video description and you can see how to acquire them. All of my tools otherwise are also linked in the video description. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, learned something. This was Mainboard Medic. Thank you very much and goodbye.